What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here and being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and while you're at it, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place in these dark times, guys. I don't even know where to begin. One of the reasons why I've been staying on top of what's been going on, but one of the reasons why I haven't been doing content about everything is honestly, it's depressing. I started talking about the politics and the news and everything leading up to the election because I really am not surprised by any of the stuff that's going on right now. And although he wants to claim that he got this big amount of votes, he just got a little bit more than Kamala did. Really, if more people voted and more people that did not vote, if they voted and voted for Kamala, he wouldn't have won. He would not have. So now this is where we are. And I've been seeing people, and I even joked about it a little bit too, saying, oh, we resting this time. We're not getting out in the streets and marching. We're tired and whatever. And I'll be honest, even though I've never gotten out in anybody's streets in March, that's just not my thing. I I felt the energy and the impact of all of that stuff. So I've just been really drained. I got my own personal stuff going on. Life is really lifing. And a lot of the stuff that 45/47 is doing is not helping my life. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the things that are really affecting a lot of the others would never come to people that look like African Americans or whatever, it wouldn't come to them too. Because if they're deporting Hispanics out of this country, what do you think that they wouldn't do to an African American person? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we going to have to do like back in the day when they had to walk around with their freedom papers to prove that they were actually a freed slave? Are we going to have to walk around with our birth certificate in case somebody walks up on us to prove that we were actually born in this country? And he's talking about deporting actual citizens. This is like, this is no more democracy. This is officially a dictatorship. And these I used to watch these documentaries about Hitler and all of the stuff that went on in Germany and things like that, never knowing that it was a possibility that somebody that was operating like that madman would one day possibly be the president of this country that I was born in. And it's scary. And he admires dictators like Putin, Kim Jong Un, Hitler. You know, Kanye wasn't the only one that came out and said that he admired him. A lot of people talked about Kanye saying that, but not a lot of people are talking about Donald Trump saying that he admired him. And so when I've watched documentaries about him and even Kim Jong Un and the North Koreans, it's scary. But I'm going to share my screen because this is what he wants from the people of the United States. And I'm going to play a little bit of this, guys. You see the words there? Let's sing of Kim Jong Un, our great leader. Let's boast of Kim Jong Un, our friendly father. Warm hearted like your mother, benevolent like your father. Child. I don't know if you all know this, but in North Korea, it's illegal to believe in God. They're supposed to worship him. So that line in the song where it talked about He's holding his 10 million children in his arms. It's disgusting. We all trust and follow him with one heart. Our friendly, oh my God, this is like, child, if you know the atrocities that go on in this nation, so all of the stuff that they're showing, all of this propaganda is to make it look like these people are actually happy, and they're not. But they really don't have a choice, because if they want to live, like, just when I say live, be alive and just exist, they have to do this stuff. Oh, I can't play any more of this. But this is what, ugh, we all look. We all trust him and follow him with one heart, our friendly Father. This, it's disgusting. But this is what Donald Trump, ugh, I said I wasn't going to say his name, 45/47. This is what he wants this country to look like. He's planning to have this big military parade in June to celebrate his birthday. Like, what other president have you ever heard of that does stuff like that? But people like Kim Jong Un, they do stuff like that because it's about the ego, it's about the narcissism, and that's why it angered me so much and still does when I hear these people who claim to be Christians who are out here saying the stuff that they say in favor of Donald Trump, even if they're 45/47, even if they're not saying it outright, they'll come out here and they'll make content about people like Jamal Bryant and other black preachers that are or have given a space for democracy, or talking about voting for Kamala Harris or whatever, and that was just against Christian values. But they really believe that 45/47 is for Christian values. The United States of America is not a Christian nation, like, newsflash. I know a lot of them may like to believe that, but the whole point of the United States, even though when this country was stolen, because yes, it was stolen. I don't care if they say it was an agreement between the Native Americans or whatever. How you going to take over a nation that was already inhabited by people that were already here? But I say all of that to say, even though this country was founded on the blood and violence of enslaving people to build this nation, okay? Even though it was built this way, the so-called founding fathers, they ain't my fathers, but that's what they call them. This country was supposed to be about freedom of religion. So it doesn't matter what your religion is. You have the freedom to express yourself in your religion that you choose to follow. Not about this is a Christian nation, because it was never that. Because you can't tell me that those people were real Christians. I mean, honest, I was about to say something, but I'm not going to say that. I'll think it. But no, you can't tell me that people who were Christians, who were believers of God, were enslaving people, beating people, whipping people, rapinging people, like all of the stuff that was going on. But I'm just saying, this is no longer a democracy. He is outright defying the courts. The Supreme Court has pretty much said he can do whatever he wants, okay? And this man that was deported to El Salvador, they're calling him a terrorist and he was not. That's just one example. They're revoking student visas. It's getting to the point where it's no longer a freedom of speech when it comes to the media, because if you're not saying things that are favorable to him, he's not giving those news media outlets access to the White House press room, and a number of other things that are going on. Everything is about feeding his ego and his narcissism. Those people who call themselves Christians, who claim that this was the man that God called to be in the office of the president, are stupid. You're stupid. It's about the people who voted. And if it was all about God choosing this person, then why would people vote? Why would people have to vote? And not only why would people vote, why would they go through all of these efforts to disenfranchise people from voting, purging voter rolls, gerrymandering, putting all of these rules in place to make it harder for people to have the right to vote? They wouldn't have to go through all of those things if it were that God just chose this person to be the president. So it's all a load of bullcrap, because it's always that when it's the person that they want to be in office. But when Joe Biden was elected, if God is the one that's selecting all of these presidents of the United States, so God chose Joe Biden, right? God chose Barack Obama, right? No, when Joe Biden won, the election was stolen. But if God is almighty and all powerful, then how could the election be? You know what I'm saying? This is like the contradictions and the hypocrisy is so ridiculous. But yeah, we're officially in a dictatorship. And I don't know if anything can be turned around, but I'm just going to continue to watch. I'll continue to report what I feel like reporting about, because honestly, like I said, a lot of this stuff is just extremely depressing. And I should probably just have my recorder on when I'm having conversations with people that I know when I'm talking about this stuff, because I'm really getting heated and fired up. But then I just don't have the energy to record about it when it's the time to do it. So, yeah, guys, you can let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So, until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say